I think it's now indisputable that earthquake risk is an important and probably growing global peril. Over the last decade, nearly 1 million people have been killed in earthquakes worldwide, and earthquake losses, financial losses, are also huge. In the last year, 2011, the worst of all years for earthquake risk, and the total earthquake losses last year were over $350 billion. Over the last 30 years, CAR and our teams have been involved in more than 30 field missions to collect the data following earthquakes. And it's from the data collected in those field missions that CAR's contribution to vulnerability modelling for earthquakes has been derived.
One of the main projects that CAR are involved in right now is the Global Earthquake Model. And what we're trying to do within the Earthquake Consequences database is group together all the damage data and consequences data from all around the world from earthquakes in the last 40 years into one online database where there could be public access, it's open source, and engineers and scientists can use that data to form vulnerability models as well as inform the loss estimation model for scientific purposes. But it's also for the general public as well as emergency planners and civil protection groups in making informed decisions about the risk they're at within their communities.
One of the significant new technologies in earthquake damage assessment is the use of satellite imagery. There is the possibility to get extremely high-resolution images within a few hours, possibly, certainly within a day of the earthquake occurring. And it's possible from that imagery to get a very good assessment of the level of damage. The major clients that we've had, or types of clients, is insurance companies. It's of considerable importance to them to be able to assess what the likely losses are and what the damage potential is in any particular structure or class of structures. We can provide that level of expertise, which is enabling them to get a much better fix on the estimated losses and hence to provide proper pricing for their insurance contracts.
I think CAR have been instrumental in providing a bridge between hazard and real-world applications. More than 75%, in fact, of people killed in an earthquake die because of collapsed buildings. So we're looking at the built environment in terms of vulnerability and providing that data through to looking at human casualties and other consequences of earthquakes. One example of this is the US Geological Survey. CAR have been working with them in the last 4 years, developing a program called PAGER, which stands for Prompt Assessment for Global Earthquake Response. And this is a program that disseminates information to the Federal Emergency Management Agency in the US, as well as UN agencies and humanitarian agencies. Within 20 minutes of the occurrence of an earthquake, they produce a one-pager that summarizes the location and the size of the earthquake, but more importantly, it gives information on the exposure, the population exposure, as well as the built environment, and estimates of fatalities and economic losses. This information is vital, and the timing of the information is also important because this is issued so quickly. Emergency planners and responders can mobilize supplies as well as monetary aid very quickly after an earthquake. And in providing that information, CAR are helping prepare to mitigate and therefore saving lives.